Hi everyone, Ryan here with Macmillan Photography, and what I want to do today is talk with you a little bit about wedding photographers. We're coming up to the end of this wedding season, and it's been great. There's been lots that's been going on. I have lots of pictures to be editing. However, I'm always looking forward to next year, and I'm sure many of you are looking forward to next year as well. We've survived the COVID-19 season, more or less, and so now we have to start looking ahead. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like, and maybe I can give you some pointers and such in choosing a wedding photographer. Let's do that. All right, let's just jump right into this because there is a lot to cover. I'm so happy to be here with you. I know I've taken a break for a little while, but we're into September now and the wedding season is starting to wrap up. There's definitely still more ahead of us, but in a lot of ways, a lot of people are starting to look forward to next year. I'm looking forward to next year and the year after. I'm planning weddings into 2022. It's all very exciting, but COVID-19 is still here. So that means bridal fairs are probably not happening this fall and winter. So I was trying to come up with a way in which I could help couples choose a wedding photographer. Now I know I'm a wedding photographer, so this might be a little bit biased. However, these are some of the details that I put together to try to help me and clients get to know each other and sort of some of the things I think are all overlooked. So I'll try to go through this clearly, but I might be going a little bit fast. Step one is style. Style is important. Style is how your photographer views the world. It's how your photographer finds beauty in the world. So style is where you need to start with because you want to choose a photographer that sees beauty the same way you do. It's very hard and very inconsistent to try to find a photographer that will change how they view the world to how you want it. So you need to find a photographer whose style matches yours. So look at a lot of their pictures, look at a lot of their collections, create a list of photographers where their style is a match to yours, and then go from there. Step number two is going to be getting to know your photographer. Now this one's an important one. It's often overlooked. Sometimes people jump right from style to budget. I would suggest you need to go with get to know your photographer. Especially right now, we can do a Zoom chat, we can do a phone call. Maybe we can still do coffee, but that's kind of COVID related as well as your comfort, and we want to keep everyone safe. But get to know your photographer. You want to understand who they are. You want to understand how your photographer gets the results that they do. You want to understand their creative process and their experience and their education, as well as get to know their equipment. Do they have backup equipment? Do they have redundancies in place? There's a lot of these sort of details. Are they constantly learning? Ask your photographer, what have you been studying lately? That's actually a really good question. Whether they've been studying different types of lighting techniques, that's a big one. But there really is a lot out there for photographers to learn, whether it's posing and ask your photographer what they've been learning lately. And with that, once you get to know how they kind of interact with you, you'll get to know whether you're comfortable with them. Because if you're comfortable with them and you trust them, then the two of you can work together to get great results. Whereas if that's just not quite there, then there's a good chance that both of you might be disappointed at the end of the day. And so I put this ahead of budget because at the end of the day, I know right now budgets are hard for everyone, but you don't want to be in a situation where you're upset because you didn't spend an extra $750 or $1,200 to get the photographer that you loved and trusted, and now you're left with pictures that you're not as happy with. So budget does matter, and I understand that with the way things are right now, budget is probably a very important detail. And so, that's why going forward for 2021 and into 2022, my prices are, they're not really actually going up that much. But I've had to change a few of the offerings to try to keep that staying in there. But just to let you know that that's what you want to be aiming at. So get to know your photographer, then move to budget. After that, you can ask about their collections and what they're offering. And that's where you really want to weigh out the details, because that's going to let you know, well, I want this from this photographer and this right here is not that important. Or you can even ask your photographer, can we substitute this for that? Some couples really love having a wedding album. Some couples really love the engagement session. Some couples love having more pictures. There's a lot of things that you can kind of, there's a lot of things that matter to different couples. So talk to your photographer about that and try to find, again, the style that you like, the photographer that you get along with and that you trust. And I mean, you want to be able to see if you can massage some of those details. That's always something that I'm available to and open to talking about. But yeah, just something to consider. There's lots of options that can be added in, and get to know what that is. From there, you want to know, I mean, if COVID-19 is going to be a problem next year, what does that look like? What does rescheduling look like? Is rescheduling an option? You want to have that conversation. And then what about photographers' expectations during the day? What about people using their cell phones to take pictures and video during the ceremony? Do you want that or do you not? If somebody steps out into an aisle or sticks a phone up to get a picture, that has the chance to ruin a photo. And who's at fault for that, and how do you work those details out? So that's what I would suggest with that. And I mean, finally, then ask about turnaround time. How long is it going to take for you to get your pictures? I have heard of some stories where photographers took 6 months to get pictures back. And for myself, I tell my couples 3 to 4 weeks. I always try to be on the earlier side if I can, but it doesn't always happen that way. It's always within 3 to 4 weeks. But that's my turnaround time. That's what I offer couples. And if I get super busy and it's not looking like I can do that going forward, then I'll start to tell couples, but that will be in the contract. Is there a contract? That's another thing you want to talk about with your photographer, and what's all included in that. All of those sort of details, if you kind of move through all that, you will get to a point where you really narrow the list down of photographers that you like, that you trust, and that you want to have. And yeah, that's what I would suggest for how to choose a photographer. So when you go through those steps, that right there is the best way to guarantee success for everyone, and that you will get the result that you want. So if you'd like to talk with me about this some more, you can give me a call at 403-926-8379, or you can send me an email at ryan@mcmillanphotography.ca. If you'd like to set up a Zoom chat, just let me know. I would love to do that. My goal is to do at least one per month with multiple. I'm setting aside 1 day per month, a Saturday for couples, where we can do this, and I'd love to talk to you. Thank you.